Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is Sunderland, it is Brightlets. It's episode 107 of Brightlets and we're here with you today for a triple header against Spurs. That is correct. Is today the day we exact our Carabao Cup final revenge on Spurs by knocking them out of two competitions. As you can see, since that standard crazy game where Miranda scored in the 121st minute to save our Champions League campaign, we then beat Man United 3-0 in the FA Cup, the game that we were meant to do but decided not to do because we were so epic against standard and deserved its own episode, which it did. We dominated Man United, safe to say. Like, they had their moments, but we were pretty good. And at the back, we were great. Creating chances was superb. And it was the best game I've seen Bob play for us ever. And we were just sensational. In the end, it was not a bad day out. We then beat West Ham 2-0. Nicolas Adrian, back in his first full 90 minutes back in the Premier League, scored another double. And then against Wolves 1-0. Nicolas Adrian actually had a very poor game. But the 94th minute winner from Will Burgess, of all people, to see us through this game, which has put us, I think, 4 points clear of Bournemouth. Bournemouth ended up losing Liverpool at home, away from home at Anfield, which everybody does on the save. Liverpool at Anfield are just unbelievable. Then there was, they lost another game as well. So we started eking away from, as you can see here, Burgess just picks it up, beats one, and then with that left foot, I don't know what it is, he's got like 6 finishing and he's right-footed, yet his left foot, he just slots goals in for fun. Anyway, in terms of the Premier League, that means we are, 6 points clear. Bournemouth have lost a couple of their last couple of games. They lost to Arsenal and Liverpool back-to-back games where we went and won, so we've now put away a 6-point gap. In terms of today's episode, we've got Spurs in the FA Cup, then 3 days later we got them in the Champions League. We then have a game break against Stoke where I'll rest everybody, and then we got them again in the Champions League second leg. All that will be in this episode. Unfortunately for everyone that follows me on Twitch, we're meant to be coaching right now. The weather got upgraded from 35 to 38, and with the heat policy for under 18s and below, you can't play a game when it's scheduled to be 38 or above. It's already like 33, so it's already warm. It's only 9:30 in the morning. My game was meant to start right now. So the Federation messaged all the under-18 coaches that had games, including myself. So I woke up to a 7 a.m. text message saying games have been cancelled. So there you go. So that means I could technically stream in this time zone or this time window before I go to the tennis, as explained in yesterday's episode. However, I want everybody that are, my major viewers that watch, my night streams because it's early morning UK time, to watch if we can possibly win the Champions League or not. So the aim is to film this episode. We get knocked out. I'll do my best to get through the season as quickly as possible off stream, and then get into next season for the stream tomorrow night. But the thing is, though, if I can get through this tie against Spurs, that semi-final, the final, hopefully the FA Cup final, because this is the semi-final of the FA Cup, all in tomorrow's stream on the Sunday night, which, the Sundays are the biggest streams for me. And so we should get quite a good viewership. If you haven't followed the Twitch, by the way, link in the description below. But we are going to get into this Spurs game here. We do have Mateo in goals. Miranda, Kim Jan, Ives. Kim Jan's been sensational, so he's not dropping anytime soon. Miranda, Dosek, Arthur, Haller and No, Nakamura and Adrian. Haller's not 100% fit, and I prefer him to be fit for, obviously, the Champions League game at the Stadium of Light in a second. So we are going to get Harry Wilson out there, the former man. As you can see, a lot of rest. I was just trying to make sure everybody was rested after we played the last game in the league as well. But everyone should be pretty happy and pretty okay. Adrian's starting to get back to where he was before the injury. Obviously, he declined slightly, not too bad, physically just a little bit. But he's been not too bad so far. And look, he's been banging in goals. I want to win the FA Cup again. Unfortunately, from when we last won it, we had such an easy run. This run's been quite difficult. United, now Spurs. I believe Liverpool are in the other semi-final against Chelsea. Liverpool would obviously be very difficult to beat in an FA Cup final. So, as much as I'm a Liverpool fan, I don't want to see him get through. But at the same time, we got to get through Spurs first. Look, the thing about Spurs is that when we're on, Spurs can't touch us. It's just when we're very far off, when we're not at our best, Spurs seem to do us over. Spurs haven't beaten us too much on the save, but obviously beat us the last time we played in the Carabao Cup, and they were quite convincing in that final that they won 2-1 as well. Anyhow, into the game here at Wembley. It is Spurs in that, light green, dark blue sort of coloured turquoise, you could almost say, and us in the red and the white. I'm hoping for a good performance. I'm hoping for a better performance than what was in the Carabao Cup final. I feel like this game matters more than Carabao Cup final, but especially does the Champions League. I'm glad that we play the Champions League at home and away. I feel like when we're at a neutral ground against Spurs, it's just a little bit different. But I especially feel like at the Stadium of Light, we could pump Spurs like we did in the league. And even away at Spurs, we're pretty good. Our record's not bad. Our main defeats against Spurs have all come when we have played at neutral grounds, I believe. Anyway, Butland there into Blom. Blom now back to Butland. Butland goes long. Can we win that ball there, Miranda? He does. The saviour from last episode into a no. And no now. We've got numbers over here. Finds Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson comes inside. Back to Arthur. Back to a no. And no still with it. Still with a no. Could find Miranda instead. Goes back inside the Wilson. He finds Dossek. Dossek does a minor shot from distance. And it wasn't too far away. It was well worked there from Sunderland. And that's what we're used to against Spurs. Spurs seem to always have trouble against getting out against us and us keeping the ball. The one time that they've done that in recent times, they beat us in the Cabaret Cup final. So we know that Spurs can play on the big stage. They're also the current Champions League defending champions and knocked Real Madrid out of the Champions League as the ball in is clear. But only as far as Arthur, who smacks it in, giving Butler no chance on the top of the box. So we're 1-0 up here in the FA Cup semi-final. The header out wasn't too great from Blom, and then Arthur just goes bang, pick that one out. Doesn't score too many, but when he does score, it's always on the top of the box, and it's always a powerful effort. Anyway, Nakamura's ball in. It was actually Gabari who didn't do it, and in the end, Butland wrong-footed as he was trying to reposition. And Arthur blasts it in. We've been on top of Spurs for the first 40 minutes of this half, not letting them have a shot. Be nice to get into half-time with this lead. Maybe one more if we could. Don't think it's going to happen, but we'll take that. Spurs actually getting a shot right on half-time too. I was about to say half about them having a shot on, would have been nice. Anyway, we do go into this one here as Kim Jan gets on it. Still Kim Jan into Arthur. Arthur yet again, and off we go. If we get through this tie, obviously we get off to the final. That will be in the stream, but we have to get there first. Anyway, Butland goes into Blom. Blom now. As you can see, our press is pretty high here, and Haller's there with it as well. Good ball in for Fabinho. Now they're out of that press, as the press wasn't just good enough. It's a good ball over to Smith. Smith's in 1v1 there. What a save from Mateo. What a big save from Mateo. Get out the way. I want to see the save from Mateo. Far out. The moment's... It's all right. Forget it. It was a great save. The moment's gone. Bloody pop-up bar at the top has just killed... Okay, referee. Referee's just gone and booked 4 players in the space of not even a minute. We're going to make our first change here. Adrian's coming back from injury, not having his best of game. Jorge Rojas is coming back from a little injury as well. So I'm going to make a change there, only because I want to make sure Adrian's fit for the Champions League game. Adrian's actually been scoring goals in the league of late, which is good, but apart from that, and not too many elsewhere. As Nakamura's in there, but straight at Butland. Left to right of Butland, that definitely would have been 2-0 and probably game over. Nakamura in the space. It was a great ball from Eno as well, who from coming back from injury has been pretty good. Anyway, Dosek's ball in there, headed away from Smith. There's a fool to anybody. Fabinho heads away. Kim Jan will sweep up. He's been in sensational form since he's come back into the side. He's been superb. Anyway, ball gets cleared. Highlight eventually ends. And in the end, it will be Ives on the ball. Ives now with it. Still with Ives. Doesn't really lose it here. Instead, he goes long into the channel. Rojas is there, the pacey striker. And Butland wrong-footed, but it's the outside of the post. And it was another chance for Sunderland to put this game away. We are now going to pause. We're going to make our next change. Bob's not fit, but if we can get Bob 10 minutes or so, he might be fit enough to still make a bit of an impact in that Champions League game as well. So we'll get him out there with that in mind, and we will tick on. The same could be said for Haller, and we will bring Haller on late doors here as well. The reason I don't want to go defensive is we've dominated this game so much, and if we were to concede right now, it would allow us to go into extra time with 3 players that I know can do a job for us. But as time ticks away here, we've been thoroughly professional here for this 1-0 win. It could have been slightly more. We had a couple more chances probably to make it 2 or 3, but it looks like with 20 seconds left on the clock, unless Spurs win it and do what we just did in the last episode to standard, we are going to go through to the FA Cup final for the second time in our history as Sunderland manager. Ever since that FA Cup final win against Arsenal, we've struggled in this competition. We've either got Liverpool United and got knocked out, or we've lost to a team that we should have beaten, aka Portsmouth. But there we go, a thoroughly professional win here at Wembley. We'll take that right now in the Champions League as well, which is in 2 days' time. We will make the final of the FA Cup. That will be in the stream, so links in the description below. Come follow us on Twitch as well, and we will be streaming the FA Cup game tomorrow. We'll also be hopefully streaming the semi-final and the final of the Champions League, but let's go find out if we can get through to that semi-final, as it will be Spurs now in the quarter-final. We've exacted part of our revenge, but the full-blown revenge will be knocking Spurs out, the defending champions in the Champions League. Not just a final in the FA Cup. It is the replay of the final we won all those years ago. Is it going to be the same sort of final? If it is, we're going to have a cracker. If you haven't watched that episode, all the way back, it was episode like 59 or something when we beat Arsenal in the FA Cup. It was a crazy game of football. Mike Godin was the hero on the day. But if we want to hopefully see this game, obviously it'll be here on YouTube, but come follow us on Twitch. Link in the description below. Hopefully this FA Cup final will be just as good as the other one. I can't wait for this. Welcome back, YouTube. It is now this quarterfinal of the Champions League. We do have Spurs, of course we do. In other games in the Champions League today, Hertha and Liverpool have already played and they drew 1-1. Same with PSG and Barcelona, and Dortmund and Monaco playing off against each other. Look, if there's a team that we want in that semi-final draw, it is probably, you probably want Hertha to go through and then we get Hertha. But in saying that, we have to focus on the here and now and exacting our revenge on Spurs for beating us in the Carabao Cup, final. Due to Dosek getting sent off in that last game, we are going to swap those two around and get it like that. I feel for Alvaro, but he's on the bench and he's just going to sit there and not do much. He will play the next league game, though, to give him some match fitness. But got in and after, will swip around and play like that. Miranda, Kim Jan, Ives, and Miranda. Rochi in goals, obviously, Mateo. Haller and No Nakamura, and so on. Everyone is fit. Everyone is ready. Everybody is wanting to go. And look, with this team here, if we had Dosek, I could say that we could go out there and pump Spurs at the Stadium a lot. But anything is possible, and this Spurs team is unbelievable. You've got to remember, Tom Davison, as much as he doesn't score against us usually, has scored 15 goals already in the Champions League this season. So, I don't know. Look, if we can just play as well as we just played in the semi-final of the FA Cup against these guys, then I would happily take that and off we run. But we have to wait and see what sort of Spurs comes out. If it's a Spurs that can play between the lines and can take the game on to us, then we're in trouble. Oh, well, not in trouble, but then it'll be an even game. Obviously, I'd rather have Dosek available today. But if it's the Spurs that came out where we beat them 5-2 here and that couldn't play out at all to save their lives, we're going to go and score a couple goals, you feel. I'm looking at Nicolas Adrien. You know, he came in good form in the league, but, you know, the couple of cup games that we played, you know, he hasn't been at his greatest, but hopefully he'll be all right. Anyway, Marshall's ball into Lopez. Lopez, who has grown into a superb player. I really wish we kept him anyway. Smith, ball into Davison. In the end, Mateo was alive to the danger. We haven't started well here. Smith on a good block from Kim Jan, who came across, and now Miranda on it, and that's it. We have not started well at all. It is now another highlight before we can even tell the boys just to calm down and just get on the ball and start knocking it around, because we're better than Spurs I think we're better than Spurs on paper. And I feel like we're the better team to boot, proven by our results in the Premier League. But who knows? Anyway, Mateo goes second lines there towards Miranda. In the end, it wasn't a bad ball from the keeper. There wasn't much on, so you prefer to go out wide to a 1v1 than lose it on your own box. Anyway, Kim Jan, we're good at recycling the ball, and Kim Jan's got a good pass in. And what a ball it is to Adrian in the space. Adrian there versus Butland. Butland covered his angle as well. Adrian tried to get him to come out and then slot it near post. In the end, Butland did well, positioned himself nicely. It was a good save from the keeper too. Haller goes back stick there. Kim Jan with the header, it's hit the post. And in the form he's in, we really expect him to score. To be quite honest, we could have scored 2 there in the space of a minute. Instead, it is still 0-0. Goals are going to be premium in this game. Look, we can keep Spurs scoreless. It's not the worst result for us at all, because I do reckon we're good enough to score goals with Adrian starting. But at the same time, I want us to get ahead in this game. This is where we need to be good, not letting him to play out. In the end, the press from a no wasn't the best, but it does come across. In the end, the ball in a bloom, and it's well played out here from Spurs. You do reckon so. Smith gets in that half pocket. Miranda wasn't pressing. Smith still with it, still with Smith. His ball there's picked up by Ives, though, into Mateo, who goes second lines, looking for Haller. Good ball to his feet. He takes it in his stride. He's still running his Haller. His ball to Adrien. Good touch. Hits her through Butland and in. What a strike from Nicolas Adrien. He has absolutely leathered that one at the near post. Butland could only get a hand to it, and lucky he did, because if it hit him in the head, it probably would have knocked him out. What a ball from Mateo to Haller on the run, as in he takes it in his stride. What a ball from the keeper. Great touchy from Adrian to get rid of the defender, and that is a strike through Butland and in. The net bulges, and there we go. Nearly broke the back of the net, and we are 1-0 up here in the Champions League quarter-final against Spurs. Where was this? In the Carabao Cup final. Anyway, Mateo now. We're decent at playing out, and here is Ives. We've played out well in the past. Arthur now. His ball there. Over to Kim Jan. Kim Jan now can go out the other side surely to Moreno. Instead, he goes into the channel again, looking for Haller. Doesn't find him. Bloom now, and off we go. Kim Jan does have that little bit longer range of passing, which I don't like. But he's good at hitting those passes too. Anyway, Fabinho now on it. His ball out there towards Bellanova. In the end, Nakamura being very lazy. They're not tracking back his runners. What a tackle, though. Into a no. Now Nakamura's got space, and Nakamura now gets it. Still with Nakamura. Still with Nakamura. Still with Nakamura. Falls to a no. Mike Godin loves a long-range strike. And it would have been it would have been just perfect if Mike Godin scored there. You know, we do love Mike. unfortunately doesn't do the job. Still have faith in Mike in big games if we don't have someone suspended to come in and start. In the end, though, it is 1-0. I'm going to tell the boys I'm happy with the performance. Keep it up. I am going to change one thing. I'm actually going to put Mike as the Mazzala. Just get him roaming around. He's very good as a Mazzala on attack. And, he scored a lot of goals from deep in the Mazzala role. But I think we're on top of the game enough to really free Mike up and being a little bit more adventurous with the ball or without the ball and getting a bit more forward. And we'll see what we can do. He's obviously a great player further forward up the pitch. His forte is definitely getting forward, not defending, is Mike. Anyway, 8 shots, 4 on target. Still 50-50 in terms of, possession in that. But we forced Tom Davis off the field 50 minutes in. Like I said, Tom Davis is one of the best strikers in the game. He scores goals for fun. He's obviously leading the Champions League with 15 goals. It's just against us, we always seem to nullify him. It always seems Ives and Kim Jan or Daniel will have him in his back pocket. Anyway, the ball that got in from Mateo was sensational. In the end, though, falls to Miranda. Miranda, good ball in, back stick. Haller's there. And what a ball for Miranda. That left foot, oh my days. Look at the celebration from Haller. The little backflip and the rolls. Oh, what a goal. Miranda's ball. Look at this for a ball. Nakamura with the right idea to get him behind. Got in there with the right idea too. But Miranda takes a few steps and bang. What a ball. Straight to Haller in his stride. Picked that one out. But that all starts from Mateo in goals. What a leg from the keeper. The pick got it out on the halfway line. Unbelievable. Anyway, throw in Nakamura now. Rolls around inside. Still Nakamura. Straight at Butland. And it should have really been free because he probably could have took it another step or two in. And all of a sudden, this second half, we are on top here. A goal for Spurs would change the complexion of this tie completely. But obviously, a 2-0 win here would be sensational as well. In terms of making a change, I am going to make one now. And Dyer's been in good form. And No's not having his best of days out there. We're just going to go like for like and see what happens here. I don't want to really take Nakamura off at the moment either because I know that he has that one chance in him. Saying that Bob's in really good form, it could happen about 80th minute. Anyway, Kim Jan there, looks long yet again for Adrian. What a ball though from Kim Jan, what a touch from Adrian, gets into the box, cuts it in the end. We'll get a corner as Butland probably should have done better. From the corner, can we release? There's the one thing that I do and don't like about Kim Jan. Daniel and Ives will always look to keep it as Haller's ball back stick goes in. Header is down but cleared and Moreno should get on it. Should be the end of the highlight. It is. The one thing that I just don't like about Kim Jan, he looks very long a lot, but he's very good at playing that long pass anyway, and it does pick doors out, and Adrian's very good at his movement. So it helps. Anyway, Cano on the ball, running inside towards Lopez. Lopez now, good tackle from Ives, but it falls to Bellanova. They actually got a man over here. Tal there, the ball over the Renwick, who's the man over. Can we stop the cross coming in? We do. Falls to Miranda. Arthur, now it's Nakamura. Now it's us on the break. His ball over to this left-hand side where Adrian loves to come out. Adrian's ball was blocked. It was on there for Haller. Anyway, Nakamura, that ball down the line looking for Adrian is delightful. Haller's at the back stick. Instead, Adrian goes himself. He cuts it to Ndyer. What a run from Nicholas Adrian. What a pullback. It's 3-0. It's more Ndyer again off the bench. With that in mind, I'm going to get Bob out there for Nakamura. And I'm going to get Durant Miguel in for Mike Godin. We're just going to go a little bit more defensive, I feel. Get him on there as the Carrillo. 2 workman-like midfielders in the middle of the park. Let's go and see this out with a 3-0 win. What a run from Adrian. Great ball too from Nakamura. And the cutback was delightful. Look at this ball from Nakamura. Just pops it into the space. No keeper's getting to that. Straight to Adrian's foot. Takes it to the ball. It looks like he's going to shoot. And then he just cuts it delightfully in between 4 players. Look, there's a box of 4. And he picks it up in Dyer, who's got the easiest finish in the world. We are all over Spurs here. 3-0 up. Time's ticking away here. We go to bring Durant Miguel in to obviously see it out as well. Bob can get a little bit more run in those legs coming back from injury. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a 3-0 win at the Stadium of Light against Spurs. We have a very good record against Spurs. We only lose to them in cup games and cup finals or semi-finals of the FA Cup and stuff like that. But here in the Champions League, here at home, here at the Stadium of Light, we have a very good record against Spurs. And we just beat them 3-0 in a game we are absolutely dominant in. Everybody having a good game there. Yet again, Kim Jan having another 7.9. He always averages around an 8.0. It was a pretty good game from the boys. I'll see you in just a second for that second leg now, where Spurs need to win 4-0 on the night, 3-0 to send it to extra time. An away goal would make it near impossible for Spurs to get through. Hopefully this means we're going through to the semi-final of the Champions League. Welcome back, YouTube. Final part of episode 107. We have got a bit of a lead here in this semi-final of the Champions League. We are obviously 3-0 up here, so we just beat Spurs. The other game going on today is the Dortmund-Monaco game, which is currently 3-3. I don't really have a particular favourite that I want to play in that one. Maybe Monaco over Dortmund. It's the Herver-Liverpool game where I'm just thinking, let's get Herver. Let's get through to the final, hopefully, because we should be able to beat Herver home and away. Anyhow, we have to still do the business here. This tie is not over. We have got Mateo in goals. It's going to be Miranda, Kim Jan, because he's been in such great form. Ives, Miranda, Dosek, Arthur, Haller, and No, Nakamura, and Adrian. Obviously, on the bench, we've got everybody back. We did play one game, obviously, in between all this. It was a 4-1 win against Stoke in that game there. Adriel, like I said, was going to start. He did. He scored a hat-trick. Daniel also scored playing in that one there. And Dyer picked up a knock, hence why he's not on the bench. He could technically sit on the bench, but I don't think he is ready for this one there. In terms of the rest of the team is in pretty good shape. And as long as we're not diabolically bad, you know, we should be okay to get through this quarter-final tie. I've obviously gone with the exact same lineup, it looks like there, of what's happening, what they did in the first leg. Look, I have faith in these boys. Let's go and finish off sweet revenge, exact our revenge, and let's go and send Spurs out of the cup. Because, to be honest, who really does like Spurs? Look, I'm still annoyed at Spurs for the Cabaret Cup final. I'm still annoyed at a few things with Football Manager. But, you know, this is making me feel a whole lot better if we can knock Spurs out here, get to the semi-final of the Champions League, be in the final of the FA Cup, and see if we can win the league. It would be nice. Anyway, we're here, obviously, at the Tottenham Stadium. It is Spurs there in the white, us in the black, and we're underway here in the quarter-final second leg of the Champions League. Just a reminder, Spurs need to win 3-0 on the night to send it to extra time, 4-0 to win, or if we score, they need to win by 5 clear goals. So time can tick away here. We don't even need to see highlights. We're just happy to get through this tie. They can win at 1-0 for all we care, but I want us to go out there, perform, and do the job. Miranda has picked up a damaged foot in a game that we should see out anyway. Van Dijk could come on very early. Miranda's a big part of the way we play and was obviously massive in the reason why we're here. You got to remember, in last episode, we were 4 seconds away from being out of the Champions League. We were a pointless highlight away from being out of the Champions League. And the bloke on the ball, he's just gone back to Mateo, hit a left foot thunder strike from about 25 yards out that the keeper probably should have done better with anyway, but still put it past him and sent us through on 5-2 on the night, which was great. Anyway, Miranda there with the ball over the top. Look at that Adrian. Adrian there flicks on to no one in particular. Barring a defensive mistake, it is one. Haller's there. In the end, confusion reigned between Gabby and Butland. They both looked at each other. Butland eventually decided to come for it after hesitating, and Haller's pretty quick, and Haller gets there. Adrian's going to be credited with the assist after the poor flick on. I mean, that's how we'll take it. We don't care. It's a Champions League. We do not care how goals come. Adrian's flick on. There's no way the defender should not get there, or there's no way Butland should have not swept it. In the end, both come there, and Haller gets there before Butland and actually slots it between his legs. Good little finish. We're 1-0 up. We're 4-0 up on aggregate. Spurs need 5. We can start partying, I reckon, about the Champions League, you know, and the semi-final. Anyway, Haller goes in front post. Fabinho gets it. Nakamura heads down only as far as Dosek. Dosek now on the ball. Finds Kim Jan. Kim Jan, good ball out to Haller. Haller yet again takes it down the line. He will put a ball in. He does. It's headed away, but only as far as Dosek takes a touch. Finds Nakamura. Nakamura loves his left foot. Doesn't find it. And Bellanova now with Rudwick. And Rudwick goes along to Tom Davison. If there's ever a guy that could score 5, it is Tom Davison. He is unreal in terms of stats on this game. And he does score goals, just not against us, like I've said. Anyway, Miranda's not going to be able to block this cross here, is he? It falls to Tal, who could have put it 1-1. The volley was very good technically, just couldn't direct it on target. It was too far behind him, and still in the 40th minute, we're still 1-0 up. Still enjoying the way we're playing. Look, to be quite honest, another half of this and we're through nice and easy, no questions asked. I would love to beat Spurs too. The revenge would be sweet, beating Spurs home and away, defending champions, humiliating them. Well, they didn't humiliate us in the Cabaret Cup. They were pretty plucky and they won that one. But it'd be nice to humiliate the defending champions. The Spurs are a side that they're a good side, but they're never, they're not a side that you particularly like or enjoy. They're just there to put the pressure on, aren't they? And hopefully, with no pressure here, we should be able to get through. Anyway, Butland there on the ball, goes long, force him long too, and we should be winning that one there, Ives. He does. They're headed towards Arthur, was poor, but Miranda picks up the second ball, and there is space now for Arthur to turn and face forward. Finds a no, and no now. William with a good ball out to Miranda. Miranda's got numbers in the box. Ball in, backstick. Nakamura on the volley. Should have scored, doesn't. In the end, the referee says no penalty on the tackle as well. To be quite honest, I thought it could have been one. It looked like he went through his man to get the ball there, but it doesn't really matter as we're so far ahead that Van Dijk's going to come on. Nakamura's going to play another 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to get him off to make sure he doesn't get suspended here. There we are, 69 minutes played. Averill, who's been in great form, is going to come in there for Nakamura as well. Just give him some game time, and we will confirm that sub. And now just pretty much whoever gets booked here is just going to come off straight away. We're through to the Champions League semi-final. It's a good feeling. We're 13 minutes away. It doesn't even care if Smith scores. Good free kick. Well done, Stuart Smith. Congratulations, you've scored a goal. They're not scoring 4 goals in 12 minutes. We can relax. We can celebrate. We can just drink it in that we're going to an actual semi-final of the Champions League. All the work was done in that first leg. I'm going to tell the boys to get creative because I would love to win it on the night. A few of the lads are just like, who really cares, boss? In the end, it's a free kick. It's Haller. He goes long. Backstick there. Kim Jan couldn't win it. We should be able to get back on that one there, Morano. And it would be nice to win it on the night and humiliate Spurs. Anyway, Morano now with the ball. Goes long in towards Adrian. Oh, my days. Oh, you can't disallow that. What a volley. Nicholas Adrian just let it bounce and then smacked it past Butland. The ball was unbelievable. Was he offside? It looks like he's standing in an offside spot. Yeah, he's miles off. It was a great finish, though. Good call from the linesman. Look at that for a finish. Oh, my days. Nicholas Adrian, stop it. In the end, 90th minute, we're going to make a change here just to time waste. You know what? Get Matthew King on. He's back from injury, back from his broken leg. Get him up there. Get him a game. Matthew King comes off the bench. It is game over. It's 1-1 here against Spurs. It is going to be 4-1 on aggregate. We are through to the Champions League semi-final, ladies and gentlemen. That is correct. We're now only 1 tie away from the big dance, from the finale, from where it all matters, from where the save could end. We are only going to be 1 tie away. Are we going to get there? I don't know, but we are going to find out after this game does finish who we are going to get in that Champions League semi-final. So stick around for the draw. We're going to tell the boys they were excellent today. I look very delighted with that. And I'll see you guys in just a second for the Champions League semi-final draw. It is the Champions League semi-final draw. If you were going to tell me that we were going to be in this Champions League semi-final draw with a minute left on the clock against Standard, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are. Play the sexy music that is the Champions League anthem. And let's see who we get. Now, out of all the teams here that we have history against PSG. We lost, obviously, over in France, but beat PSG at home. We've never played Dortmund in the save. Liverpool at home, we match up well against. We've actually pumped them once at the stadium a lot, but at Anfield, they're way too strong. I actually reckon Dortmund is the team we want here, but we want to be drawn away first, I feel. Let's put it on automatic draw and let's pray. First name out the hat is going to be Sunderland. We want Dortmund. We get PSG. PSG. Hey? A little bit of PSG in ya. The champions. Alright, Raheem Sterling is unhappy and he's unregistered. Wow, really? On loan at Galatasaray. 33-year-old Raheem Sterling. I'll have a quick scout of Raheem. But let's have a look at the team. We know what PSG's like. It's Rulli in goals, so he's sensational. He's world class. He still is world class. He's got 21 on ones. Even though he's 36, he is still quite good. Milito's obviously there in goals. Who wants Rulli, by the way? Boca want him on a transfer. Maybe he's going to be at the end of it. Edro Milito's wanted by Real Madrid, Barca. Yandel is the English guy that I've been scouting for years. He's world class. Christensen's Christensen. He always is an elite centre back on Football Manager. Always goes into one. Julian is very good as well. Sandro Tonali's Tonali. Mbappe, ladies and gentlemen. Pahino is probably one of the best midfielders in the world on the game. Savic is Savic here. Obviously, Suma Dembele is still a legendary winger. You've obviously got Sebastian Murillo, a guy that we had a contract agreed for, and then unfortunately work permit screwed us, and then he went to PSG, but he would have been our player. They have got Gabriel Jesus on the bench. They've got Casio Alessandro, who's unhappy at the club, and he is unbelievably good. I might actually give him another scout just to see if they're interested in selling. Not that I reckon he's better than a no, but, and then there's so many players here that are unregistered, like AB is obviously a very good fullback. They've got such a squad. Like, if you go to their profile and you go that Mbappe's still their key player, Savage and Christensen still there, Brendan Rodgers is in charge, and Brendan Rodgers has been in charge there for a long time, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Brendan has been there since 2027. He's been there for about a year or so. Has Brendan. But, yeah, I thought Brendan has been there a little bit longer. Maybe he spent a long time at Inter. It was one of them anyway, and Caesar's their hot prospect that we'll scout anyway, just in case. But yeah, we are drawn at home first, which I don't like at all. But for anyone that doesn't remember, if we go back to the fixture list of last season, we lost 4-0 away from home against PSG, but then at home we did beat them 2-0 in a game that We didn't dominate, but we were not bad, and we rode our luck. We are a lot better since then. Smithies isn't in goals at the moment, even though we love Smithies. Ives and Daniel, they've obviously developed into better players. They played a lot more of each other, but Miranda is been great for us as well. As you can see on that night, our back four had a very good night. Arthur and Dosek were there. Haller and No, Nakamura and Adrian. That was the start of this team. That was the start when we had this team. This team has now played together for 2 years since then. Has been playing some good football. So I'm excited for this tie. If you're excited for this tie too, give it a like. Go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, this games will be streamed live, ladies and gentlemen. Live on Twitch tomorrow night. I'm going to try and do my best not to play this save at all till then. I still got a couple of hours to kill before the tennis, so if I can't help myself, the PSG game might be on just YouTube. I'll try not to, because everybody wants to see PSG, obviously, live on stream as well. So link in the description below, co-follow on that. Thank you for watching this episode. That's the end of episode 107. For episode 108, I'll see you for maybe Bournemouth first, and then we'll do PSG after that. I'll see you next time, though. Thank you and goodbye.